Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's fall, which means pumpkin everything, and I couldn't like that more. Today we're going to be making pumpkin bread. It's spiced and it has chocolate chips in it. So yeah, let's get started. So we're going to start out with the dry ingredients. First, we're going to do 1 2/3 cup of flour. So once we have our 1 2/3 cup of flour, you're going to add 1½ cups of sugar. So after we've done our flour and sugar, now is where the fun stuff comes in. This is my favorite part. Right here I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, and that'll be it for our dry ingredients. I just really love cinnamon and cloves and nutmeg. I just feel like they're so earthy, and everything about them makes me think fall and pumpkin and sweater weather. Okay, so make sure you get that incorporated well so that that flavor is distributed all throughout your pumpkin bread. Okay, beautiful. So at this point we're gonna put our dry ingredients to the side and we're gonna start on our wet ingredients. So right here we have a cup of pumpkin, not a can, but a cup. You're more than welcome to use fresh pumpkin. That would be really great. I have canned here just because that was what was most accessible. Just make sure you don't buy pumpkin pie filling, just regular pumpkin. So to the pumpkin we're gonna add 2 eggs. And they're preferably room temperature just because it'll mix in better, but that's not a big deal if you don't have room temperature eggs. And again, you just want to make sure you're incorporating this well so that you don't get streaks of egg white. And then also to your wet, you're going to be adding a 1/2 cup of canola oil and a 1/2 cup of water. So you can see it's kind of separated at first. That's just because of our oil and water not wanting to mix. Okay, we're good with that. Now let's bring our dry ingredients back to the party. So at this point, you're just gonna add your wet to your dry. And this is the point at which you don't wanna go crazy with over mixing, otherwise you're gonna get tough bread. Get all that goodness in there. I love my little spatula. It is from Bed Bath & Beyond, and I love all things little and cute. Okay, so you're just going to fold this in until you get it fairly well distributed. When you're folding, you just want to kind of cut into the middle of your batter and then scrape against the sides of your bowl. So stop once you still see a little bit of flour in there because we're gonna add one more ingredient. We're gonna be adding our chocolate chips, but I like to add just a little bit of flour on them beforehand, and that prevents them from sinking to the bottom. Here I am again with my cute little utensils. I think I also got this from Bed Bath & Beyond, but so if you like cute little utensils, that's where you can get them. And then just mix your flour over the chocolate chips. Perfect. And then we add the chocolatey goodness. Okay. So scrape the bottom of your bowl once more, make sure there's nothing coming up. We're good here. Next, you're going to transfer this into a greased and floured bread pan. This will actually make 2 of those, so you can do that into 2 greased and floured bread pans. All right, so I have my pan here. It is greased with, you could do oil or you could do butter, either one works. And then I put some flour over it, and that's just to ensure that we don't get any stickage. So you're gonna put 1/2 of your mixture into this pan. Don't try to fit it all in there because it's not all gonna fit. So once your oven is preheated to 350 degrees, You're gonna want to put your loaves in on the middle rack. I just put them right next to each other. Once your loaves are in the oven, you're gonna set a timer for 65 minutes, or once the toothpick inserted into the middle comes out clean or a little bit crumbly is fine as well. Now for the toothpick test. So before we cut into our finished product, I wanted to give you guys just a couple more tips as you're making this. I did use a heaping cup of the pumpkin, and I think that was good. It adds a little bit more pumpkin flavor. I did also use a little bit more of the cinnamon and cloves and nutmeg than it called for, and I would do that too just because it gives it a little bit more of a spicy taste, which I prefer. All right, so it's a moment of truth. We're gonna cut into this. And there we have it. Pumpkin spice chocolate chip